excited, slept like 3 or 4 hours every night. I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. But awesome, we'll jump right into it. Okay, so why do I go to Summit? This is the second year I've gone to Summit. I could not go my first year. I was devastated that I could not go. And so I made it a point, a priority that I would be there after that. You know, the thing with Summit is there is not a national wake-up call that you listen to where a coach doesn't say, my turning point was Summit, my turning point was a live event, maybe it was Super Saturday Summit, whatever. Those are the things that really make you realize what's possible in this business, and how any normal person in the world can be successful. There's something I was talking to my team about numerous times while we were there, is you just look around and there are so many different types of people. There's so many different types of insanely successful people that you sit there and you say, I'm making excuses for myself because of XYZ, and I see so many other people who have XYZ and more who are more successful than I am because they're not using those excuses. Whether it is because you don't think that you have the best body, or you think that you're too busy, or you think it's this, you see somebody who has it 10 times worse than you, who's doing 10 times better than you there, and you're like, damn, I have no reason to ever tell myself that I can't do something. Also, we get to listen to the best speakers in the world. Chalene Johnson was a rock star, Brendon Burchard, Darren Hardy, like 3 people I look up to more than anything. Also, the top coaches in Beachbody. It's just like this, it doesn't make sense not to go. If you're sitting on this call right now and you are like, I want to make this a business, or I want to earn an income, or whatever your goal is, buy the ticket for next year. First off, it's refundable. So if you did for some reason quitting, which is ridiculous, you can always refund it. Or if you have something that comes up, it is going to be refundable. So there's no excuse. Sell 3 challenge packs, find 3 people to help, and you're going to make more money than it's going to cost you to go to Summit. So that's just my little thing on it. Also, you get to spend the time with your team, getting to know your team and spending time with the team. That is like the best part about it. I would say like my favorite part about Summit this year was just sitting around and hanging out with my team and getting to know each other and talking to each other and really just finding out like how freaking amazing these women are. I already knew that, but like times a million. But okay, I'm talking too long. There's a lot of people are going to talk. So the one thing that I wanted to say was my biggest takeaway. It's kind of 2 different things. I was trying to put it into one, but number 1 is being vulnerable. There are a lot of coaches out there. Even if you sit on your Facebook and you see on your newsfeed, it's going to seem like more to us because we are friends with a lot of coaches, but I'm sure your friends and the people in your friends list, they have a lot of coaches that they're friends with as well. Like, what makes you different? And the thing that's going to make you different is your struggles, is your vulnerabilities, is the things that you don't want to share. We want to go on and we want to post a picture of ourselves with Shakeology and be like, oh my God, I'm so healthy and I'm so perfect and I have this great life and everybody loves me. But ain't nobody on your Facebook gonna look at that and be like, oh, I relate to that. Like, nobody relates to your perfections. Nobody looks at you. They're gonna relate to your struggles. They're gonna relate to, like, I can only speak for myself, but you know, I need to talk more, and I used to do this more, and that was why it's such a big takeaway for me, about my depression, about my anxiety, about my weight issues, about those things. I talk, and we think, you know, we post about it once a month. It. But the thing is, not everybody sees your post. You got to post about it every week. You got to post about it all the time. And honestly, you got to sit there and you think about the girl you were before you came here or you started Beachbody. Think about who you were and think that that girl is sitting there watching your post and she needs to see that. And maybe she needs to see it 10 times that you struggled before she's finally like, you know what? I need help. And I relate to her. If you just constantly post about how your life is perfect and how you're doing so well and you never struggle and you love to work out and you love to drink your shake and you love to eat lettuce, like, then people are going to be like, how am I going to relate to her? How's she going to coach me? We have nothing in common. So something I'm focusing on that I'd love for you guys to focus on as well is being more vulnerable. And that's hard, guys. That's so hard to do. Sometimes you click post and you're like, oh my God, like goosebumps. But like, it's worth it for the girls who come to you and they're like, I'm so grateful that you talked about that. So I want to challenge you all to take some time and think about your vulnerabilities, think about your struggles, and use those to make your message, I guess. Becky posted the best quote from it. I'm not even going to try to quote it, but if you want to go to her page, she posted something awesome about it today. And if you go, a lot of the girls who are at Summit, go creep their pages because they've been being really vulnerable, and I think it's amazing. And the last thing I was just going to say is know where you're going and be confident in where you're going. You have to be intentional about what you want to accomplish. We have an issue, I think, as coaches to say, I want financial freedom. Like that's such a common thing. Or I want to leave my job, or I want, just some extra cash. But what is financial freedom to you? What is leaving your job? What is a specific number that you want? You're never going to hit what you want unless you get specific about it, because the universe doesn't know what financial freedom is. Right? You have to ask. It's like asking for a Christmas present, being disappointed in a Christmas present that you get when you didn't tell somebody what you wanted. So it's the same thing with your goals. If you're not very specific with a timeline, hey, you're not pushing for diamond with that diamond bonus, and you're crazy. But I want to be diamond by August 31st. Set that date, know what you're going to do, and be freaking intentional about it. The best thing I heard, and I've heard this before, was the mountain thing. I freaking love it. He's like, this is my mountain. I'm going to climb this mountain and whatever. And I don't care what you say. I'm going to top this mountain. And people are like, yeah, that's a really big mountain. I don't think you're going to be able to go up the mountain. And you're like, nope, this is my mountain. I'm going to climb this mountain. And people are going to come to you, and they're going to tell you that you're not good enough. And you're never going to make it, and you're never going to be successful. You got to stand tall and be like, this is my mountain, and I'm going to the top of this mountain. And you have to, no matter what those people say, because guess what? When you get to the top of that mountain, they're going to be asking you how you did it. And they're going to be wishing they were at that mountain with you. And they're probably going to join you up there eventually. So don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people telling you that you can't. Because believe me, I've had every single person in my life tell me that I'm never going to be good enough for something like this in some way or another. Even my family told me I was crazy when I started doing this. So don't believe it. It's your mountain. Get to the top of it. Okay, that's it.
Preach it, Jenny. Love that. Who wants to go next? Yeah, for real.
I don't know how I could follow that, but I will go next. That was totally amazing, Jenny, because that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. Everything you're saying, I'm like, yeah, that was from that training, or that was from that. Those are the biggest kind of mental, kind of the limiting beliefs, or just kind of that push for you guys to be vulnerable, to know that you can do this. And I have to take these out. I'm echoing in my ears. So one thing that I just wanted to share, when it was the closing ceremony, when they announced the top 10 coaches from 2017, and they said that 4 of those top 10 coaches were first time top 10. A couple of them have only been coaches for 2 years, and I want to say all of them are first time elite as well. Wow. So just that first the aspect, oh my gosh, we can do this. Don't think it is so that success, even if top 10 isn't, on your vision board, which it doesn't have to be, but don't think that success is not attainable because I haven't been a coach for, 5 years, or I haven't, been doing this long enough, or I don't have that experience, Yeah, Cassie turned next to me and I didn't even know who Ashley Smith was. And it's so crazy that I don't know what rank she was, but she is a top 10 coach, and she went through so much within that year on a personal level, and she still pushed through every single day. I thought that was totally awesome, and it kind of lit a fire under my butt. Oh my gosh, top 10 is achievable. And the other thing too, I'll be really, really brief. I know a lot of us want to go, but this was also my second summit, and last year I didn't embrace the community. I'm such a homebody. I'm an introverted. I don't have a voice because I don't talk as much as I talked this past weekend. And my first summit, I was the old Jenna. we did our own thing. Like, yes, I went to the workshops and this and that, but I didn't embrace the team culture of it. And now looking back at that, Jenna, from, last summit to this summit, like, I made it a point, like, this is my tribe, like, this is my team, these are my lifers. Like, why wouldn't I, it was just something that I let my own, not insecurities, but I let my own, like, anxiousness and nervousness of being around all these crowds of people to take me away from the people, you guys, that I see every single day, that I hop on my computer and I just, you guys are right. Like, you guys are my tribe. Like, why wouldn't I want to have been there with you guys? And this year it was amazing. Like, I got to hug like so many of you, and I got to meet so many of you, and it felt like I've known you for years. Like, it, again, just piggybacking off what Jenny said, like, just being with your team and being with our whole team, and just the community aspect, that like this is life. Like, these are my best friends that I will have for forever. Like, I just can't even believe like that friendships come out of something like this. And then one thing just with me personally that I took away the most out of was becoming a leader, for your team. When, you start bringing on coaches and this and that, is the power of empowering your new coaches or your team. And that word empowerment, it really stuck with me, because I personally I'm always searching for new trainings or new ways to, bring to my team, or, help my team succeed. And what am I doing wrong? What am I doing that isn't good enough for my team? And the empowerment aspect of it all, it really kind of hit a heartstring for me, that between the recognition and, bringing your team in and being like, hey, do you mind if, you take over this, or do you mind helping me do this? Or, those types of things, that the littlest things to your coaches, or even to your challengers, the empowerment aspect, the littlest things that you do for them, or say about them, or recognize them with, that means the world. And that's things that I look past a lot. Like, it's like Captain Obvious moments. Like, oh, I already shared that last week, or they know that. Why do I have to post that again? But it's like, no, like, you've been doing this for how long? You may be at your chapter 5, or you may be at your chapter 20, and someone just getting started is only at chapter 1. So you are a master in so much more than you think, right? And the people that you're just getting started, or even your team members or success partners, right? Share those things, even if you think it's the littlest, stupidest, like, oh, they already know that type, tips and whatever. Like, share that, because more often than not, you're going to empower someone. You're going to teach someone something that they didn't know, and you're just going to bring that recognition factor and their confidence up that much more. So the empowerment and kind of the leadership aspect of Summit is on top of Shalene and Darren and Brendan. Like, oh my gosh, like that those 3 speakers aside, like, that is the $295 Summit ticket that you go and buy at the door. Like, that's not even seeing one of them. Like, the value that you get at Summit, aside from Team Beachbody, like, you're learning from high performance life coaches, like mentors. It's amazing that what, we get by going to these events. So make it a priority to go next year. I'm done.
Don't waste time. Who's next?
Okay. Do you want me to go? I'll go. Hopefully I won't freeze up. So you guys have said such awesome stuff, Jenna and Jenny. So I'll just be really brief and just kind of talk. This is my first summit. I didn't go last year. I was on vacation with my family. And I'll be honest with you, I did not know what to expect. I just knew that I had to go, because everybody would say, Summit's awesome, Summit's awesome, Summit's awesome. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever, I guess I have to go. So I can't even tell you guys, like, I walked away from it and I'm like changing everything about my business. Like, we say it all the time, but like, you cannot if you really want to grow a big booming business, you can't keep the coaching opportunity in your mouth. Like, it's so selfish, guys. like once you learn the ins and outs of this business and you know how great you can really be, like, and you start to do the things that you're actually capable of, like you will astound yourself. Like it is incredible what we are capable of. We give ourselves, like, our goals are like this, right? They need to be so much bigger. So just watching these girls and there were a couple guys too, but mostly women who grew their business so huge, like Ashley Smith, like hands down unbelievable. Like that's just crazy how she could grow like that. So you guys, there's no reason why we can't do the same thing. Like there's no reason. These people, there's nothing like super outstanding about them. They just stand out. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. You have to stand out from the crowd. There are so many Beachbody coaches, right? There's so many. So Chalene Johnson did this amazing training about, she said like 4 different things, and I'm just going to kind of go over them really quick because I know we've got 2 people that that need to go over, that need to do their stuff. But 2 of them that really stuck out to me was, don't tell me you're about to sell me. So that was like one of her big things she said. So don't make your posts so salesy. Like stop hiding behind your products, like Jenny said, with your shake, like no guys, how many Beachbody coaches, like first I said to my team, and I'd be like, oh no, I can pose with my shake because it doesn't say Shakeology. Like I flipped it around, like shake. No, guys, like Jenny was saying, no one connects to that. Like you have to dig a little deeper. You have to be a stand out. Like you have to stand out from the crowd because there are a lot of us, and there's no reason why every single one of you can't stand apart from the other one. Like we're all different. We all have different stories. We all have different lives. I just loved Shalene's training. Like she was amazing, you guys. If you can Google it and go in, I think it might be on YouTube maybe, I don't know, but you have to watch it if you haven't already watched it. And the other person who I loved that was amazing was Amy Silverman. And she's been a top 10 coach, I think, or like 4 years in a row or something incredible like that. She is amazing because she has something she calls the 3-foot rule. So this is another thing that I implemented like today. I implemented this. You need to talk to anyone who comes within a 3-foot radius of you. Just talk to them like you're standing in line behind someone in the supermarket. Be nice, be friendly. How are you? How old's your baby? Cute. Start a conversation, okay? The girl I sat next to on the plane, I asked her, we started talking, super sweet girl, nice girl. I did what Amy Silverman says she does. Say, hey, like we should be friends on Facebook. Do you mind if I give you my name? Boom, friends on Facebook, new relationship formed. We've met face to face. She's already trusts me. She already talked to me. She knows who I am. Like that's a cold market person who I just instantly made my warm market. So don't be afraid, guys. Don't be afraid to talk to people, build those relationships, and talk to people in person. I think we really hide behind our computers. Don't be afraid. Like, you guys got this. You've done the trainings. You're awesome. Like you can do it. So, okay, that's it. I'm done. Stacy or Cassie, whoever wants to go. Where's Eunice? No Eunice. Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
There too. I don't know who else was there. I can't see who's on here.
Can you hear me, Cassie?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I'm having like the most issues with my computer tonight. So I apologize about that, guys. I see like one other person, so it's weird. Anyways, I'll jump in if that's cool. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. All right. Yeah, I'll be really quick, but the biggest thing that I took away, this is my second summit, and I felt like they were both completely different, but I got a lot out of both of them. And I feel like this year, the biggest thing I am taking away from it is just being you and sharing you. And I know that I missed some of the beginning of what you guys said, but so I'm sorry if I'm double going over this, but just share about like your story, because your story is so unique, and you may think it's boring because you know it, but most people don't know it, and they're going to have something that they're going to connect to. So don't be afraid to just share like different things. Like people want to know like those random things. And Chalene kind of talked about like sometimes you'll even post something about like, oh, I'm wearing new lipstick, and people will ask you what you're doing. That whatever it is to engage people, that's totally cool. But just like share you and be yourself. Like, you can look at what other coaches are doing and posting. And one of the things that stood out to me is when they're saying, especially if you're using like top coaches stuff, they're at a different level in their business. So the people that they're trying to gravitate or get to their business are different than probably the ones that you're trying to get to your business. So just be yourself and share about your journey, your story, and be you. And by being you also means like believing in yourself, and don't worry about comparing yourself, because I know that that's such an easy trap to get stuck in. And I know I do it sometimes too, where you think, oh, I've been in the business for this long and somebody else who's been in it shorter is doing better than me, or vice versa. But if you just keep believing in you and yourself, and keep, just keep at it, kind of keep the blinders on if you have to sometimes, you're going to get to your goal. You just have to know that maybe it will take you longer than someone else, but that doesn't mean that you're stopping. It just means that it's taking you longer, but then maybe later on your course, you're going to go faster. So I know for me, like, I need that reminder every now and then. I get not competitive, but I sometimes get hard on myself for not being at a certain level. And I realize, like, that's not what this is about. This business is about sharing myself with others and helping others grow. And, every time you put into others, you're going to get it back. And even the top coach, Melanie, shared that when she struggles, she realized that she just has to go back to the basic of, feeding her team that good energy and giving back to them. And the numbers will happen, the things will happen, you will grow, and you'll continue to do that if you just focus on your people and sharing yourself. Sorry. That's all.
Becky and Jess, you're up next. I'm calling you out, girls.
I don't know why you would do such a thing. Obviously, we didn't go to Summit. Do you want to start?
I don't care. Well, I went to Summit because I earned my ticket. So I was like, well, that's stupid if I don't go. So I was like, well, I'm going to go. And I hadn't met a bunch of people on my team. So I picked Caitlin up from Omaha, and she's from Seattle, and I've never met her. And it was like we were best friends. Like, it wasn't weird. We drove 2 hours to my house, and I'd never met her. So it was really cool. And then I drove 12 more hours with 2 other people that I didn't know. So it was really cool. My biggest takeaway, I think, was when Brendon Burchard talked about living each day with intention. And you have one life. Like, don't wait for something to happen to live your life. I'm probably going to cry. I'm sorry. He got in a car accident and saw his life flashing before his eyes. Well, I lost my sister last year, and that was like a huge turning point for me. And it was like, what am I doing with life? Like, if that was me, did I live like a full life? Did I help people? Was I a good person? And so that really, like, every single person that talked that lost someone, I was just a hot mess the whole entire day after that. So, like, everyone that saw me probably thought I was that girl on Bourbon Street till 5 a.m. because I looked like crap from crying. But, and then when Darren Hardy talked about knowledge is not power, it's what you do with the knowledge you have. And, like, we have this knowledge of this opportunity, and if you're doing nothing with it, what are you doing? Like, you have the knowledge is not the power. It's like what you're doing with it. That is the, like, true power. So those two things really, like, I'm going to try to tie together and kind of share, like, you only have one life. Like, you can't wait until that last day to be like, crap, I need to start living now. So yeah, I mean, I have this notebook I have pages of stuff. So those are just the two big ones. But it was amazing, and I can't even wait for next year. I didn't go last year because I was a coach for like 3 weeks before everyone left. So I sat on my computer watching everything the whole time.
He was amazing, though. Like, he was one of my favorites by far.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share 2 things. I think, yes. Okay, so the first one, that same thing, it was during his same speech, but it, like, made me laugh so hard, was, so he was talking about the fear of rejection, right? Because we all, like, go through that where we don't want people to say no to us. And he was talking about, like, can you think of, like, a certain amount of people that were, like, mean to you, and can you remember their name? And then he went into, okay, well, how many people can support you, and, or how many people do support you? And, like, as we were going through it, like, obviously you can remember a lot more people that support you than people who maybe don't support you or reject you. So he said, okay, wait, sorry. I'm trying to read my notes and they are not written very nice at all. But basically he's saying that if you fear rejection, you suck at math. Because you're basically going and thinking about like 10 jerks rather than thinking about 1,000 people that do support you. So that was just one thing that hit home for me because I think we were all like, okay, wait, like we do suck at math, like duh. But yeah, that one definitely hit home for me. And then my other biggest one was from Shailene, and it was just the curiosity piece, like just always kind of leaving little like breadcrumbs so people are curious and they want to come back to either figure out like, what is she doing? Or like, why is she doing that? Or where did she get those pants? Or just random things that they'll come back and they'll try to ask more questions, which will naturally create that relationship.
Thank you for that little message, Cassie. But I just wanted to add, like, regardless if it's just a little tiny bad day or if it's a year of your life that is absolutely horrible, like, lean on your team, because I don't have a lot of girlfriends from the past. I never really got along with girls because just catty, and I don't know. I had a bad experience with a bunch of girlfriends in the past, and so signing up to be on a team of all women and like going to New Orleans with 10 other women, like my husband was like, are you sure about this? Like, is this really your thing? And I was like, well, it's not my thing, but it's about to be my thing. And in December, like, I mean, I have no clue where I would be today if it wasn't for like my team last December. Like I don't even want to like think about that. So if you, regardless if it's a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, like lean on people on the team, even if it's into Epic, like not on your direct team, just like reach out to someone because you will connect with someone in one way that will help you in return. So don't just hide, like just open up to someone and be vulnerable even to your team behind, in a message, because it will help you. Yeah.
Love that. So true.
Okay, we'll stop talking.
No, you're fine. That is all things I needed to hear, and that's actually an epiphany I had at Summit as well. We have like 8 minutes left. I don't want to speak over everybody because I can just do something separate and post it, but I know Eunice, who else was there? I didn't see part of Jenny's team, so.
Jenny, if you want to go too, just gonna speak out. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, I can go really quickly. This was my first summit, so I'm on Jenna's team. And the main thing I loved all of it, right? Like it was totally overwhelming. I didn't really understand what to expect, and I got a lot out of everything. But during one of the workshops on Friday, there was a discussion about like how you define the word decision. And for me, like if you asked me if I knew what a decision was, I would have said, yeah, of course I know what a decision is. But the way they talked about it is decision means it's a final choice, and you treat it as you have no other option, no plan B, you can't back out. And I think a lot of times when I started, fitness programs in the past or being healthy, or even when I started, like when I signed up as a coach, I was kind of like, oh, I'll give it a try. And so when they talked about like, do I treat my decisions like a final choice? That really spoke to me, because I'm like, no, I don't. I think a lot of times I think I'll just give it a try, and then I'm not committing to it as much as I could. So that was, again, a kind of obvious thing, but then when I really thought about it, I think it could apply to not only coaching, but a lot of other aspects of my life. And then I'll say the other like big thing that I personally got out of Summit was helping me overcome some fear. Being a newer coach, like I have a lot of fear of sharing and what other people think and like judgment and things like that. And so to be with a group of so many people, who are happy and successful and working their business and doing well, it allowed me to break through some of those limitations I put on myself. I invited several people to the coaching opportunity while I was there, because I just wasn't afraid anymore of it. So that was really helpful for me.
Kim, you want to go?
Sure. Yeah, I can go. Everybody really kind of already touched on most of the things that I was going to talk about. But I will say I was not going to go to Summit. When I first heard about it, I was like, that is expensive for me. I'm like barely making it paycheck to paycheck. That's money I could spend on groceries or gas or, other stuff. And it was vacation time off of work that I could have used for something else that was more fun sounding to me. And it was for a conference in this business. And at the time I was feeling like, well, and I still, up until 2 days before we were going, pretty much was feeling like I was a complete failure at it. Like I wasn't doing anything with it. I literally had just stopped everything. Maybe like a random post once a week or something. But everybody kept telling me, like, you need to go, you need to go, you need to go, like, just do it. And I did, because I didn't want to let everybody down on my team. And I'm really glad that I did go. I realized after talking to everybody else, all these people that I've been watching, and like, they're so amazing and they're so awesome, and they're doing all this stuff right, and they're having all this success, and then realized that like they were there were people that were messing stuff up just like me, and had done the same things I was doing, and they changed their minds and decided they're going to come back and they're going to make it work, and they made that decision. And that goes back to one of Brendon Burchard's things that he said that really stuck with me was, earn your life. And, we're raised in a society where, like, to be successful, you have to always be successful. Or that's how people think. I was raised in a family, like, if you didn't get straight A's and, stuff like that, then, you messed up. And that was horrible. And everything kind of, had come easy for me in the past. I was always good at whatever I applied myself to. And in this business, that wasn't happening. And I kept thinking, like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this just like, I'm doing what I thought I was doing, what I was supposed to be doing, and wasn't getting any results. And this was kind of like a kick in the ass to be like, you're doing the bare minimum. That's why you're seeing the bare minimum in your results. So stop making excuses and complaining about your circumstance. Get off your ass and actually do something about it. So that was kind of what I needed to hear. It was some tough love, pretty much. But so if anybody was on the fence about Summit or anything like that, I can say that it's a really good idea to go, because there's definitely something that you can learn no matter where you're at.
So true. So true. So Jade, Eunice, quick guys, we got like a minute or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So it can be just one like little takeaway.
Can everyone hear me? Because I'm like frozen on my screen.
Yeah, you're good, Jay. We can hear you.
Okay, sweet. So everyone kind of like touched on everything pretty much, but I'll just take away like my biggest takeaway was, or I'll share my biggest takeaway. Just like doing your vital behaviors and how important it is to stick to the basics. I think we get like really wrapped up in rank and like numbers, and this goes with like fitness as well. I just did a live video about focusing on the scale. Like, it's the same in your business. You can't be focusing on numbers and rank and stuff like that. Because for me, when that happens, I shut down. Like, I just take a step back and I can't do anything. Like, that goes for in my business, in my fitness. I start taking steps backwards because it like scares me and gets me really overwhelmed. So I think just sticking to the basics, and one thing that I really want to start like implementing right now is not really focusing on like success club points or rank or stuff like that. Like, I am just going to be writing a list of the people that I help one at a time as fast as I can, and their why and whatever, and just focusing on helping as many people as I can, rather than focusing on the rank or the numbers and stuff like that. Because for me, that really, really scares me, and then I just shut down. So just stick to your basics.
Go ahead, Eunice. Go quick.
Oh, okay. So Christina Delgado said something, and it really spoke to me. And it's she said, "Stop them with your image, connect to them with your post." And that really spoke to me because I don't go deep enough, and I think I'm not as relatable if I, like, don't go deep enough. So that was my biggest little takeaway. So that's all.
So good. No, that's so good, Eunice. I think we all need to hear that. So thank you for everybody for sharing. Did we miss anyone? Okay, I'm going to go live and I can share that.